right, so welcome back to the Chop Up, episode 25 we are.
Nice.
Right.
So we're halfway to 50.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah,
right?
you guess so, huh?
I guess for the second time I've been here.
You haven't been down here in a while, right? Stoked to have you guys in town.
Yeah.
Thank you, man.
Thanks
Good
for
to be
coming
back.
out.
Good to be back.
Thank you.
Yeah, to me it's a special day, special episode, and fitting enough, it's episode 25. Like I said, halfway to 50. Dustin put some dumb thing on 50, saying Dan's gonna get a tattoo or some shit like that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so
I don't believe it, man.
Yeah.
I don't believe it.
The question is can we get Dan get a Lincoln tattoo?
Worst case, he gets the henna tattoo.
That's not fun. We need people to pressure him in the comment section. I'm not asking for a
Strap him
face.
down or
Yeah, I'm not asking for a face tat.
Yeah, just be a little guy.
Yeah,
Not
I
the
mean,
Tyson
he's got
tat?
the biceps. You know, it could go there. It could go anywhere. Put it on your thigh if you're.
how
You
about
know.
we henna the face tat on?
Ooh, okay.
we'll see.
I have to see that. Man.
We'll see. That 50 sounds a ways off. 25 more episodes.
I remember a
but
long time ago you were going to get an eagle tattooed on your arm. And
You drew it for me.
Yeah.
Yep,
yeah,
you did.
don't
And it's
see it on you
still
anymore.
not there. Right? That's right. Yeah. So we'll see. It's a big milestone, 50. So that might have to happen. But
Yeah.
It'll have to be some kind of a party.
yeah, there'll be a party. There'll be a hot.
We
tub
should have probably
party.
did a party for this one too. But
Well, I thought you were asking if we could do the hot tub and get in.
yeah,
No.
no.
Well, we'll probably.
Hot tubs aren't my vibe.
All right, we'll do something different, but we'll do something special for 450.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But yeah, stoked to be back. I wasn't on the last one or two or something. We've been super slammed with work, bringing on a couple more people. At some point, we're going to move the studio in the next couple months. And then in the middle of all that, it was like, hey, let's do a book.
Yes.
Like, why don't we design a book for the
It's easy, right?
holidays? Yeah.
We have all the stuff.
We
Just
do.
throw it in a
Yeah.
book.
Yeah, don't you? If you have all the files,
No,
and
it's
can't
not
you
easy.
just kind of plop it all together and the book comes out? It's usually,
That's what I thought, but apparently no.
No.
Apparently no, that's not the case.
Yeah, no, it's a it's a long process, and I would say we're about 75% there. So that's where I wanted you guys to come up today. Let's go through what I have laid out so far. You guys tell me what you like, what you don't like, what you want included, what you don't want included, kind of that whole deal. So.
For sure.
And then on top of that, we had a lot of comments last week about, I think Dustin threw out the fact that we're going to start doing some classes here eventually. I don't want to put a date on it or anything, but it's something that's going to come early 2022. So yeah, we're kind of in the process. We're going to start building that out. We got a lot of response of, hey, I would love to take a class, whether it's in patterns or illustration or design or whatever. So just know that's in the works, on top of the book and everything else. So, yeah, so it's coming.
I would take that class for sure, man.
Yeah?
Are you
Yeah.
kidding me? Yeah.
Shoot,
Over
I'm
college?
gonna take it because you're gonna be teaching.
Take each other's classes.
Oh,
Right.
I always want to learn how to Damasso.
Yeah. Exactly. Yep.
No, it should be good. I think education is a huge part of this, and learning how the process works and from start to finish. And that's kind of like what the book is about too, right? It's not always that polished, but it's a system that works for us or for one, right, individually. And hopefully others could catch
I
on.
think it's really helpful as an artist to just see how other artists work and what their process is. Like it's always going to be different for everybody, So it's just helpful to see how other people think through problems, and
Yeah.
you can usually glean a little bit from everybody's process and add it to yours, and it just makes you a stronger artist. And hopefully that's what this book will do, is kind of give people a story of the process behind some of these pieces, and
Absolutely.
they can.
Yep.
For sure.
Yeah, because there'll be a certain amount of sketches in there from Brandon, Damasso, Davey. That'll kind of show that start, A to Z type stuff. So
Exactly.
I think it'll be good. But one of my favorite parts of the book is we are going to include these vellum sheets in the book, which will show the sketch process on certain projects. So this will overlay the actual illustrations showing, like for this piece was Damasso, showing kind of what that sketch phase looks like. The final product is interesting, but this to me,
Yeah,
not
this
being
is
able
where
to
you
do
this is where you
this,
see the thinking, you see the construction, you can see once it gets finalized, it gets really tight. But this, you can see his thought process in here and how he constructed that and how he shaded it.
Yeah.
I think that's really helpful. It's invaluable information as an artist to see how that works.
To me, this is going to be an exciting part of the book, showing
sure.
that process and what it looks like with the sketch overlaid on the final illustration. So I'm excited about that.
That's a special touch, man.
Yeah,
I'm wondering how many. We're gonna have several of these, right? Vellum.
Yeah, there'll
style?
be 8 pages, so 8 different projects or
Ooh.
illustrations. We'll have that.
Super cool.
on
Go
it, so.
super in depth in
Yep.
these.
Yep.
Nice.
So that's where in the next 2 days we gotta narrow it down. What
That's what we'll
3D
be doing
you
later
want.
tonight.
Yep. Exciting evening.
Cool.
Yeah, so that's coming. Also in this process, what I've done, I've laid out and designed a few different books for the company, previous company, and then when I was at DC Shoes, we did a lot of catalogs and books and things. And usually the first part of the process is asking for a paper sample of the book. So usually a printer will send you basically your exact book. This isn't actually it. This is the finished book, but of Logo Mayhem. But usually they'll send you a blank book that's just blank pages, so you can see the weight, you can see the paper, you can see the page
See how
count.
it feels in the hand.
Yep,
and
that
just,
whole deal.
'Cause it's about the whole experience,
It
It's
is,
about,
yeah. Yep,
Does it look cool? Does it make you want to grab it?
yep.
I have some art books I see across there. I gotta go flip through it.
Like that one right
Yeah,
there.
this
That,
is the House
that
Industries
House
book. Yeah,
Industries
this
book,
is one of the greatest.
That's one of their older books from.
If you don't own this one as a designer, you need to go out and get one. This House Industries book is
There's actually a sleeve that goes over it, but it's so.
I think it's
beat
one of the
up
best
because
ones. Yeah.
Because I've taken it in and out so many times, and they have vellum pages in that book that are pretty cool. So yeah, so
So I always love that. It's a whole experience. Just the
Absolutely.
size of it, the weight of it when you're going through it.
Yep.
That's,
yeah, and if you've
hopefully
never
we
done a
achieve.
book, like you don't really know what 244 pages
Yeah, yeah,
feels
yeah,
or
yeah.
looks like, or even the size of a book. Like when you lay it out in your InDesign file,
you might be
kinda-
like, I got 100 pages, and you're like, oh
Yeah.
no.
like this doesn't seem very very
That was
big.
exhausting.
yeah,
Yeah.
exhausting. And
Totally. So I would start there as far as designing a book, get that paper sample, see if your size is right, your page count, or whatever. So we already had this with Logo Mayhem. The format's going to be similar.
And paper choice. I mean, we were
Paper
looking at
choice is
different
huge.
paper today. Like, you
Yep.
know,
It's a ton of color, ton of vibrant, illustrations. Like that is a totally different book than this.
which
Logo.
I didn't even think of till you brought it up, and then you showed it, and I like, oh yeah, wow, yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So we're going with a little bit, like a semi-gloss paper as opposed to the matte that is the Logo Mayhem book. So that'll be cool. I think it'll pop a little bit more, and actually the matte vellum is going to pop even more, so
Crispy.
yeah, so it'll be good.
Yep.
So then the next step was Brandon did the illustration for the cover of the book.
I think that
So-
sets the mood. That sets the mood for sure, real nicely.
Yeah. I mean, that is an illustration.
Sure
you
it
know.
is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Undeniably so.
So
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
When he did this, when you're doing a book, and you have a cover that is going to be, this was a no-brainer. I mean, it's gold foil on black paper. You know what
sweet
you're gonna,
logo already. That
yeah,
says it all.
You know what you're going to get with the illustration.
This is also like the part 2, so it needs to be a little,
yeah.
bring a
On
little more
brand.
to it.
Oh,
Yeah.
totally. It definitely had to have an illustration on it. So Brandon killed it. It's going to have a silver foil stamped Illustration Mayhem logo right in the middle where you see the big missing black area. But I asked him.
Good, because I thought I'm gonna have you hand draw all the
Hand draw
logos.
the logo in there?
That's not
No,
gonna
no, no.
happen.
No, it'll be like this, but silver basically. So, but I was a little bit nervous because when printing grays, I ran into this with doing a motorhome at DC Shoes. When you're printing grays, depending on the printer, like they can go brown.
They can get little dots.
Yeah,
weird
yeah.
dot pattern in them.
Yep. It can go blue. It can go brown. It can
Even
start.
like a little pinkish hue sometimes.
Yeah, get
You ever
that
see
that?
warm
So,
colors.
yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So I was a little nervous. I'm like, hey, can you send me a couple paper samples of?
But this looks good. We got that nice cool.
Yeah,
cool
cool gray.
gray on there.
Yep. So we got our cover, got our sample. We're happy with that. Next step is to get the ISBN number on the back, the barcode, send it off, and they'll start doing the foil stamping on the cover. So stoked on that.
Moving right along.
Yeah, glad you guys approved it and like it.
Oh, heck yeah, man.
So
For sure.
yeah, super hyped on.
I like this. We had like 3 or 4 different ideas for the cover that
We did.
I sketched up.
Yep.
I think this one works the best. I think.
I do too. Yeah, no, definitely. Because we had the mountains. We had a mountain with like a road that went up to the type. And then we had another one that was just a type with all kinds of drop shadows and shit on it. So I think this is definitely the best option.
Yeah.
For sure. So, yeah, super hyped on how that turned out. So, just a couple tips on, designing a book or a catalog. Get your paper sample, get a sample of the cover printing. The cover is the biggest part, of the book in a way. It's the first impression. If that printing turns out weird, you're gonna be pissed.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So we're in a good spot. We have boards up in my office. I was gonna bring them down and put them behind us, and
They're
the
too
ceiling-
big.
the ceiling's
It
so
doesn't
low.
fit down here. The
Yeah.
book,
Yeah.
the book does not fit here.
No, it does not.
Give you some idea what we're getting into. There's a lot going on.
Yeah, so we didn't get it down here, but we have most of the pages laid out. Like I said, probably about 25% to populate and figure out what projects those are. But we're going to do that over the next couple days, and we'll get this thing off to the printer. So
Awesome.
yeah. So let's dive in. I want to go through. I just grabbed a couple spreads out of the book that I want to talk through quickly with you guys. Get you guys' thoughts on these projects, the client, how it went. And we'll just kind of run through these real quick. First one being this Nike project. I mean, this thing has always been a favorite of mine. Dustin and I call this style like hyper real or hyper realistic. What do you call it? The detail in them is like off the hook.
Yeah, man, I don't know. I mean, you got some heavy lines, you got some, some shading in there. You have a little bit of everything. You got some good, 2D line work with some.
It still
nice
stays really graphic
digital
though, with
stuff.
all the nice black areas
Mm-hmm.
though too.
Yeah, that elephant for Alabama, like all that black in there looks so
dude.
good.
Yeah.
Like it's super finely detailed, but it's still very bold. It's still, you can read that across the room.
Right.
If you see this first page in the book here, you'll see that the sketches on the left are different than the final.
Yeah, man.
So you got the ducks because
I forgot about those sketches, man.
You did 2 sketches for each team,
Yeah.
for each mascot. So
That's right.
these are the ones that didn't get picked, and then you move on to the next page, which shows the
More dynamic ones, right?
Yeah.
This
final graphics.
scream out. Yeah. I've seen that. Yeah, Alabama one. I've seen that several times, especially because since they're so good, man. It's all over the place. But
Yeah, their merch and everything's everywhere. So moving on, this was an interesting project. So 21st Century Fox, we've done a couple projects for them for different movies and properties. A couple of them were logo projects, but we got the call to basically illustrate 5 posters for the new movie coming out called Bad Times at the El Royale. So they had called me up and we're basically like, here's the name of the movie. These are the actors in the movie. We can't send you a script. The only way for you to basically understand what this movie is about is you need to fly down to LA. We'll give you 8 hours to read the script. You can write down notes, and then you take that home, and from that,
and then
you
there
need
you
to-
go.
Yeah,
Make a
you
bunch
need
of
to.
posters.
Yep, make 5 posters.
Have
so,
fun.
yeah, so super gnarly. I
Well,
flew down
then
there
you have to explain the script to a bunch of artists.
to you guys. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, shit. So I wrote down all these sketchy notes. First time ever reading a script, and
Yeah. Scripts are weird because you got
Yeah.
to read like outside 3:00 in the afternoon. Like what?
Yeah, Johnny said, and I'm
How
like,
do I throw that into the poster?
yeah.
totally. I'd never been through that process or read a script. So, and on my way down, I'm thinking, shit, is it gonna be written like that? Where it's like Johnny says this, Johnny looks mad, and he's sitting at this table, and sure as shit it was.
Yep.
And so I'm trying to take down these notes, what it's about, what the environment is, and all this. So interesting. Put it this way, I damn near took up the full 8 hours of sitting in their office trying to absorb this thing and go back.
Just to get a gist of what the movie's going to be about. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a movie
But you're reading like detailed scenes, and you're like, this doesn't give me an idea of the.
Yeah. Which is
feel
why
of
we're
this
not
whole
actors,
thing.
right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
That's
would
not
not
the case.
I would not want to do
Then
that.
they gave us a
no.
bunch of photos that had like watermarks all over them, so you couldn't really.
Yeah.
So you're trying to do a likeness, and there's just a.
That was
watermark
cool
across the
before
face.
the movie came out. To have that
Yeah.
content.
Yeah,
Now
it's cool to be
like,
privy to that
what do I
information. Then
do
you're
with
like, ooh, I know something that no one else
Yeah,
knows.
exactly.
Totally.
that
Yeah.
exclusivity, just
Yeah.
like, ooh,
Yeah, almost what, 6
Bet you
6
don't have
months,
this.
a year ahead of time.
yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah. So what you've seen on the left is some of those photos we were supplied with. And then on the right is the sketches that you
First round of
Yep,
sketches.
yeah. And
Well, then we had to come up with a style. They wanted like a new style.
Mhm.
Did a bunch of sketches in different styles.
Yeah. Everybody wants something they've never seen before.
Yeah.
Right.
That's always how it works.
You're like, come on, help me out, you know?
Sure.
So moving on, you guys killed it on the sketches. They were super stoked. Kind of picked a direction and style, and then you guys dove in. Kind of what I'm going to go through in a couple of these projects. This happens often here, and you guys probably get pissed at me for this most of the time. But what happens?
We're pretty aware that it's probably not you.
It's
that's
not.
to us.
No, right, for sure. But what'll happen with a project like this is, like Damasso started the first two on the left, got them, dialed in, color, the whole deal, and then we'll get busy, and we send it back to 20th Century Fox. They sit on it, and with these posters, the shitty part was that the actor had to have.
So yeah,
the
anytime
final
you're
call.
working with an actor, they get final call on that poster.
They approve
Any likeness that's going to appear on that poster, they have to approve of it.
Yep.
It's every actor.
So you get somebody like Jeff Bridges. I think
Yeah,
he
and these are
replied.
some iconic actors. That
Mm-hmm.
right now.
A-list.
Yeah.
A-list for sure.
That's where this movie.
Just
I'm
knowing
like,
that
holy
Jeff
shit.
Bridges is going to be looking at your artwork and what does that look like?
Signs off on it. Yeah.
And then when they do sign off, you're like, oh man, that's so cool.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. So, but when that happens, that process can take a
But
while.
you
Yeah.
can't. These are A-list actors. You can't just be like, hey, approve this.
No,
They'll do it when they have time to do it. So it
Oh,
might
yeah.
never happen.
You're on their
Which is
clock.
kind of the case here. One of these A-list actors just didn't get around to approving it, didn't approve it, but just
Yeah.
the deadline flew by and there was no approval. So
Yeah. Exactly.
unfortunately, we didn't really get to see them in the world. But
They didn't get used too much. They got used in the DVD.
Yeah.
So with
I mean, they
If you want
they
to
tried. They
step
worked
back
hard
so
to
they
get
can
it in
see
there
it, you know,
somewhere.
a
Yeah.
wide shot of that,
you
you know what I
know
mean? Might not fit in the frame. Yeah, man.
Yeah. So they never really saw the light of day as far as like full on movie posters. They did use it in the.
When you're
DVD.
working on something like this, though, it's almost kind of in the back of your head. You know that it might not see the light of day.
Yeah.
This is a big project with a lot of people involved. It needs a lot of approvals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't Bridges the one that kept on returning. He was like, man, it looks too old or whatever.
Yeah.
I was
He
like,
didn't
but
get the wrinkles.
but
Yeah.
you are
I know.
old.
He's like,
Wrinkly.
there was some wrinkle issues. Like, can
Yeah.
you less wrinkles?
Like, really? Okay.
That doesn't
Trying
look
to-
like the photo though.
trying to work miracles here too.
Totally.
But it was good. It was good. I think for this, the key was establishing shots. Just a good establishing shot, just good storytelling. You're not trying to tell a whole story. Just as long as it makes sense,
kind
just
of
enough
story.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I
they
think the
all-
layout of these posters is really strong. Just that big character image, and then just a couple
Yeah.
shots that kind of tell a little more of that character's story.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they turned out great. And,
Yeah.
to be honest, it was a good movie. I don't know if you guys
Yeah,
ever watched it.
I did.
It
Yeah,
was a pretty cool movie.
Yeah,
as
it's
well.
interesting. It has so many people in it.
Yeah.
So many big stars. So it's like, damn, this is crazy. Yeah, and the idea is cool. It's interesting. Yeah, definitely worth
Love to
watching.
do another one and actually have them see the light
Use
of
it.
day.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Yeah. So yeah, let's move on here. So Hot Wheels.
That's fun.
Hot Wheels. This is another one where Davey actually started the sketches, got busy. Brandon jumped in, took those sketches to final inking and then color. These things are gnarly
Yeah, they're giant files.
because they're giant. They're actually, I want to say 8 foot by 6 or something
Yeah, they're
playmats.
huge. So about as big as file as you can get in Photoshop going on with, just dozens of layers.
Without exploding.
Because I never know on something, there's so much stuff. If they want to move, this dinosaur over here, like I got to keep that guy separate. So I got a bunch of layers working, try to keep stuff layered as much as possible. Because you never know, and you might have to change something, move it around, and
Yep. I
when
try
everything's
and-
all interconnected like that, you want to make it as easy on yourself as possible.
For a lot of projects, I've had a client come back and be like, "Oh, like you said, oh, the dinosaur, oh, very cool, but can you move him over to the left, like, a little bit?" And it's like, no, like you do realize that, like, behind that dinosaur, there's nothing there. Yeah, that
White paper
tree-
lives
this
behind
isn't-
that thing.
Yeah, that tree ends right there. Like,
No one's drawing things that are going to be behind things. No one has time for that.
Can you rotate it 5 degrees? Done. And call it
I am
final.
actually currently working on a project though. I'm going to have to do that.
Right.
There's a ton of elements that
Sorry to hear that, man.
working with. They want it modular, so it's
Oh,
gonna,
I know what you're talking about.
so
Yeah,
it's gonna all have to be separate.
but at least up front we had.
At least we know that
had
up front.
info.
Yeah, it wasn't like after I'm done, like,
Yeah.
yeah, we need to move all this stuff around. Like,
Yep.
oh, no.
Yeah, no, that was part of the project. Like this all needs to be modular. It's like okay, but that also adds a lot more work.
Yeah,
you
that's
know?
a lot of thinking,
Yeah.
like a
Yeah.
lot of
Problem
pre-planning.
solving.
Like, you
Yeah.
gotta
Oh, yeah.
think. It's not just
Absolutely.
sitting down and drawing. Like you gotta put the old thinking cap on and kind of
Yep.
plan my process out really well.
Yeah,
But yeah, these things were they were a bear. They took
They're cool.
some time. And then after they were all done in Photoshop, they're like, "Can we get it in vector?" And I was like, "I'm out."
That's a
So
different.
good luck,
No,
Dan. Have
yeah.
fun with that one. Yeah, I was like, shit. Yeah, we made it happen. But
I'm talking. There's hundreds of layers in these Photoshop files.
Nah. But
I don't
looking
think
at
I've
it,
ever
man,
had
it
that many
works.
layers in a file before. except on
The
these.
family works, man. Oh
It
yeah,
does.
But yeah,
super.
we got it done. Someone got it done.
well, and then the challenge and weird thing with this is that there's the orange track. So that orange track has to be the exact size.
Oh yeah, that was tough.
size
Yeah.
of a
No,
real
yeah, you
Hot
should have
Wheels
seen the
track.
joy of like making sure that was even the whole way through. Like I basically created little pieces that I would
Did you?
use and like keep using them. Yeah, I would have my corner piece. I'd have to try to keep it as even as possible.
There you go.
And then on all four sides, if you
know,
notice,
and then it's got
they
to connect. They all
yeah.
gotta connect. They connect like twice on the side,
Uh-huh.
on each side. And
You can move them to
Oh,
any
yeah,
side,
yeah, look at
and
that.
they will connect. Yeah.
so sometimes you're more of an engineer than an illustrator.
Yeah. Yeah, that's where you guys are freaking amazing at being flexible and making that shit happen because it is more than an illustration project at that point, you know.
Right, right.
It involves
Right.
illustration, but there's a lot of thinking and planning and
Yeah.
you know. I always like to try to get my plan dialed in before I start, just so I know where I'm going. You know,
It shows they turned out great. I'm still looking for them. I want to find at least one or two, hang them up
find
here.
one in
And,
the world and
yeah.
see what they really turned out like.
yeah, exactly. And the problem is it's actually carpet. So
Oh yeah, I was just gonna
Yeah.
say, wasn't it like a carpet
kinda
thing too?
yeah.
It'd be interesting to see how it actually turned
the
out.
detail. Yeah, I might at some point just print a giant one and hang it in
There you
there,
go.
you know. So, all right, moving on. Seaside Brewery. So another one.
Another collab.
Yeah,
type of deal
collab.
over there.
The ones on the left are the beer labels. Davey started the sketches. Brandon, I think he took some time off. Brandon stepped in and colored and inked them. Those two are I love those. It has like a Santa Cruz vibe.
Yeah,
and
it's got a
like-
cool vibe. It's got, you know, it's cartoony but not childlike. It's got some edge to it. Like you get a hint of Santa Cruz skateboards in that.
Yep.
You get a hint of yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
The little octopus character that Davey created, I think he's
That's
awesome.
sick.
Classic,
Yeah, on the
yeah.
skateboard, they're
That's
pulling the
cool.
dog is super
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, that's cool.
Um,
Yeah, and then the one on the right is Damasso. They were super pumped on this thing. I mean, this is just a T graphic, but to me, much more. And they're like super pumped, and they want to put it on the building.
was that all
and-
your concept, Damasso? they come to you
I
with that one,
think
or?
so.
Yeah, I
I think
think
it
I
was.
feel
they
like
had-
it is because it's just so creative. It's just
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they just they provided some notes of,
Yeah,
of
like-
elements that they wanted, and
Yeah,
yeah, you go in there and
that whole
Work it all.
barrel head.
I just love how the
octopus.
type is
Yeah.
just so integrated into the illustration. Like that is
Yeah.
just super cool.
I don't know. Yeah, sometimes I think it's too much, but yeah, I just have to give in to other people's take on it as well, and you have to learn how
Well,
to.
you know, sometimes you just push it that far, and if it needs to be less, then you can always make it less. It's always,
Right.
I think it's always better to just show like the craziest thing first.
Right.
If the client wants to dial it back, then cool. We can
It's
do
easier
that.
to dial it back
Yeah,
afterwards.
it's easier to dial it
Absolutely.
back than
I
to
agree.
push it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I love this piece. I hope they do something big with it at the restaurant and brewery. So
Yeah, it'd be sick.
moving on, we got Invisible Creature.
Invisible Creature.
Times
yeah.
Lincoln Design Co.
This
Super
one,
awesome,
man.
super fun.
Yeah, they reached out. I think we're the second time they did this. They pick 8 artists or studios to basically reimagine their logo, which is the little eye creature kind of dude.
Little
eyeball.
mummy,
Yeah, little
Cyclops
mummy.
mummy guy.
Yep. So reached out to us. I've met Don before at different shows. Super cool guy. Him and his brother. You've known of them.
I've
forever.
I've listened to Demon Hunter a lot. I've just been a fan of their work, being into hardcore music, and they've done so many covers. I've been a fan of these guys for a long time, so it was just an honor to be able to do something with them, and to mix it with Lincoln too was just like, yeah, it's probably one of my favorite pieces ever. Like just
That's cool. And there's we got the T
We got it.
T over there. Yeah, I think you can actually still buy it on their website.
Yeah, it's up there. I might get myself another one.
Yeah. Yep. So go on there, grab a T.
It's always fun to be able to work with people you really have respected for a long time and
Absolutely.
feel that love. Yeah.
And they have a new book that just came out.
Yeah.
Right?
20 years of album art or something like that. I would recommend picking that up for your library for sure. These guys just have an awesome, lengthy history of just amazing design work.
Very clean, right?
They do all kinds of clean stuff.
style,
They do some Photoshop work with like photos and stuff that's just incredible.
Yeah.
Like the vibes and the mood they can create with stock photography and textures and
Sweet.
yeah, they do all kinds of stuff. I'm just
Yeah,
I
it's
could
cool.
talk about them all day.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, check it out. Check out that book, that work, and then go to their website and look at the work on their website. They do a lot of cool work for like Target and Lego and different companies.
Yeah, it's crazy because they do all this underground kind of hardcore bands, but then they got these just huge clients.
Yep.
These huge projects.
Yeah. Like I think they did their own children's book.
Yeah, they got their children's books. That
Yeah.
they do.
Yep. So
It's good stuff if you haven't checked
cool.
them out.
All right, moving on to the last one. So Davy's upstairs. He didn't want to jump on the chop up this time. We're gonna have him on here at some point.
We'll get you
Will's
Davey one of
gonna-
these days.
Yeah, Will's gonna strap him to the chair or something. I'm not.
He's so big he couldn't fit in the frame.
I'm not sure. We'll get him down here at some point. But this was one of my favorite projects for Davey. This is in the book. He probably hated this project just because we were basically redoing the mascot for Grease Monkey. And this was through an ad agency in LA. Their client was Grease Monkey, so we did this big project for the mascot, and then actually all these icons. I think there's 35 different automotive icons that we did. But this was a challenge, getting that new mascot, that monkey, right, in the pose, and whether he's holding a flag or not a flag, what he's doing, what he looks like. Is he too friendly? Is he too adult?
Sometimes you don't realize that the things you're saying with an icon, until you see it, and you're like, oh wait,
Yeah.
this is reading too young, or this is. Sometimes it's just an idea, and you're like, okay, great, a monkey. How difficult could that be? But yeah, then it starts being like, oh, that's really going to tell the story of this company, so it's got to be correct. So
Yeah. It's like, does he have clothes on? Does he not have clothes on?
Yeah.
how does-
Yeah, so it was a challenge. The one there on the right was the final product. They have yet to put it into play. But yeah, it was cool. It was just, some of these projects that, take on from start to finish, take on a new life, and what you started with is very much different than what you end up with. And this was kind of one of those. So it was cool. Davey killed it though. So yeah, that's all we're gonna give up today. No more looking at the book behind the scenes. No more.
You'll have to get your copy.
Yeah,
for
you gotta buy the copy. You can pre-order it now on illustrationmayhem.com. But other than that, it is gonna launch end of November, right before Black Friday. So yeah, check it out. And we got some work to do upstairs. Get this thing all dialed.
Yep.
Get the right work in there.
We'll go get it finished right now.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Exactly. So, all right, and we have a trip coming up. We're heading down to DesignerCon again. You guys were out there 2 years ago, I guess it
Right.
was.
Yeah.
Yep.
2019
Yeah.
DesignerCon.
That was cool.
Super fun. Yeah.
Yeah,
Had the
yeah,
That was a good time.
whole team down there. Had the trailer. Did a podcast in the trailer. That was super fun. Then COVID hit and they canceled it. But it's back. We have a booth right up front this year. So we're going to be teaming up with Sony Animation Studios. Going to be doing a little draw-off kind of contest at our booth.
An illustration battle.
Illustration battle. So.
I've never been involved in an illustration battle.
Mhm.
I'm not sure if I need to be working out or what.
Right?
See how it goes.
Exactly. We're going to
start karate practice on Saturdays.
start training now. We actually have a call in 45 minutes with them to kind of hash out exactly how this is
Good.
gonna look. So
I
yeah,
have some questions.
good. Yes, let's bring it. But it should be cool. So join us if you can make it down to DesignerCon. Cruise out, say hi. I was shocked last time how many people stopped by the booth, bought books, and
Yeah.
just actually said hi. you know?
Yeah, just so many people that
Yep.
you only know through the internet. You just finally get to meet them
Yep.
face to face. So that was really cool.
Fucking God Machine.
God
there,
Machine,
dude.
yes.
Damn.
The
There's
Wizard
this-
of Wales.
There's this artist in the UK who this was back right when we hired you. We were super busy with Tony Hawk boards, and you're like, hey, if we need help, reach out to this dude.
This dude is amazing.
Yeah, and he did like probably our first 5 boards for Tony Hawk. God Machine did one of them. Like super cool guy, and he was out there, flew out from Wales, and I got his book. He gave me a book.
My ribs are still sore from all the massive bear hugs he gave me.
Super
He's
cool.
an awesome dude.
Yeah. Yeah, if you've never been to DesignerCon, there are all kinds of cool people there.
Yeah, you'll
Jack
see.
Black
yeah.
is always there.
Jack
buying
Black is
shit.
usually cruising around.
Yeah.
There was some Kevin Durant or someone.
Yeah, Kevin Durant was there.
Was he
yeah.
really?
Yeah, he's not that tall, man.
Shit. Dang.
I sized him up.
But yeah, there's a lot of good artists around there.
Yeah.
We got to hang out with Steve Caballero.
That's right.
That's
Cav
yeah,
was
yeah,
there.
he was chilling. Yeah.
He had a booth. Yeah. It's pretty crazy. There's a lot of people, well-known people there. So we're
A
stoked
lot
to
of
just
great
be
art, a
involved.
lot of great stuff. Yeah.
It's turning into something special, man. For
It
sure.
is,
For
it
sure.
is, yeah. Yeah, so it's cool that they're having it back in person. I think it's like half the footprint of the year before. Just trying to ease back into
Yeah,
it. But,
for sure.
Yeah, but happy to be there. So come check it out. Yeah, you can say hi to us, and we'll be there at the booth. So November 12th through the 14th, Anaheim Convention Center. So. Okay, so yeah, that's a wrap on episode 25.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh, so last week you might have saw we released a video, a public service announcement.
In this modern world, spending time on the grind has never been more important. Whether it's grinding at work or in your free time. Lincoln Design Company is here to help you on your way. Never forget to be on the grind responsibly, and practice safe grinding. And when the grind comes to a halt, know how to get back in motion. Try one of the following, or buy the new Lincoln Always Grinding t-shirt. And remember,
We all grind at our own pace.
A message from Lincoln Design Co. Always grinding.
Will, Dustin, and Frankie went out.
Got some footage of Eddie the Eddie.
Yeah, Eddie the Yeti. hitting
That was
it up.
fun. That
So,
was fun to watch.
Yeah, it was super cool. Yeah, it was great. Dustin and Frankie put that whole thing together. Frankie edited the shit out of it.
And who was skating?
That was Frankie. Frankie's kind of owning that the Sasquatch suit. So it's a
He
little,
lives in it.
So it's a little secret, but yeah.
He can almost
go.
skate. He can almost skate too good in it.
Yeah.
I know. And well, that's the thing. He's like he's a great skater. So yeah. So with that, we launched the T-shirt that goes with it. So always grinding. That's the public service announcement. So these are up on the shop. Check it out. Brandon did the illustration of the Eddie the Yeti with that big old Smith grind. So yeah, check it out. That's Frankie there on the back of the tee. He's hyped on it. So yeah, it's in the shop. But yeah, thank you guys again for checking it out, watching the show. Hit that like, subscribe, YouTube button, whatever that is. And appreciate all the feedback and everything. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.